Hi, I'm Karen,
And I'm Mae.
and we are from
Boomers
Boomers
to
to
Gen
Gen
Z.
Z. So, public display of affection. So, I want to talk about that and what is it like in wherever you're watching. How does that um, play out in your little community and society? So, stay tuned.
So,
Mhm.
PDA. Do you practice public displays of affection?
Yes. But I think there is some you tell me with the youngsters now what is considered acceptable PDA.
Maybe like a kiss and holding hands. That's
Okay, I have to tell you this something really funny. So I was in Europe a few months ago, and we were driving on a uh, little street in one of the cities, and there was this older couple, and they were like, seriously, it was so gross. I felt like they were like kissing and like slobbering each other, and I'm like, oh my god, get a room already, to me that's a little too much.
yeah, no, not making it.
Really, like they were doing the tongue and kissing and like all over, and it is like they were just on the side of the street, cars were going by, there were lots of kids and all those kind of things. So no, not to that extent, because I
Okay.
felt like it was a little near.
Mm.
But yeah, like little PDAs of holding hands, gentle touches, or even like a peck or a kiss, those kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's fine,
Yeah.
and that's acceptable, because why shouldn't we show love for the people we care about, right? So in terms of um, in Malaysia, I don't see much of it. Do you?
No, I don't too. And like I noticed that like because I kind of like grew up a little bit in the UK, so like that's kind of like what I'm like. I was kind of used to that, and like just seeing like really cute couples and be like, oh my goodness, they're so cute.
Mhm.
Or the thing where like a girl puts her hand on like a guy's lap when he drives.
Right.
And then like I got with like my very Asian partner, and he's constantly like, sweet don't, sweet don't.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me! No,
No,
no, no.
people can see, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, let them see. So like I don't see it much here, but if you go to like in nightlife spots,
Okay.
oh, you can really see people doing all sorts of stuff. To be
Oh, I
honest, to
haven't
each other.
been to a nightlife spots for a long time. That's how old I've been.
But like but also with that being said, because okay, there's this place in Penang. If you guys know Love Lane, there's also this really good falafel place near there, and I really like their falafels there. So sometimes we take like a cheeky drive and just go get my falafel. And if we drive past, you can see all of the tourists. They're all just making out with their significant others on the dance floors, on the chairs. Like they're just in each other, like eating each other's food.
It's like,
And but then you also see the locals, and the locals are not really doing it. But I think that there's a thing culturally around PDA, like what is acceptable, and it makes me ask the question of like, did you see like your parents show love to each other ever?
Okay. My parents are in their 80s, so no, no. They don't. It's also, the relationship is strange, as in they their love language is just serving food to each other. All right, so it's like, I cook for you, that means I love you, or that kind of thing. Or I provide for you, therefore I love you. That's it. So PDAs, in sense of like, for him, my dad, I don't ever remember him buying some flowers, or sometimes what we call frivolous things for the partner, and for, in that sense, because in his mind it's frivolous, it's a waste of time, it's waste of money,
Mm.
which I guess in a way I understand, because they also grew up with World War II, and they were poor, and it was money was scarce, food was scarce. So for them, there's no purpose in flowers. What is there to for them?
Mm.
It's like, why do I spend 100 ringgit for a flower? I rather buy food,
Mm. Mm.
right? Which is a little different from me and my husband, is that we do those little things, like maybe the flowers, the little chocolates, or if I know my husband loves those chocolates. So if I go out and about, I always make sure to get him some chocolates, and those little things to show that you love them, right? And I think that's okay, because um, sometimes people need to be reminded. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to be told I love you, or a little hug to say that, yeah, you matter, and not just make the assumption that that I know that you love me, kind of thing.
Mm.
So what for you, what means most to you in terms of that love affection? What would mean most to you? Someone telling you I love you all the
Yeah, I
time?
think mine is like words of it's a
Affection?
yeah, words of affection, and also like I'm very touchy. Like I need physical touch. So I'm the type of person who like I like to hold hands, like I like to like hug. Yeah. I do this thing where like when my partner is like paying for something, I put my hands in his pocket. Like, I just hang out in his pocket.
Oh, okay. That may be all in a very public place.
But it's just like like they have like the baggy jeans. So I always just like hold, and then now like my son does it too. So we're just holding on to his pocket.
Oh my goodness. I think that we have to view that, because in case it might look
It doesn't
very
look bad.
prerogative.
No, it's not. It's not the front pocket. It's just the back side.
Okay. But okay.
But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I
How
think
would
it's
you?
nice that like you and your husband did those things, because growing up without that, like without seeing that,
Mm,
I always kind of like look to movies and I'd be like, oh, like it's so sweet, like, and it just kind of made me like a hopeless romantic. Like I watched 4 romance movies this
in a
weekend
row.
in a row, not even on the weekend, on Sunday. So it makes me very like
So
because
you're
it's
the
like a
romantic
craving, like
kind.
it's a craving, right, to like create that atmosphere.
Right.
And I think that by you and your husband showing that, it creates a sense of like it sets a standard of love in a sense, like
Mm.
it sets a standard of what's to be seen,
What
a
to achieve?
connection,
Yeah,
a
to achieve.
connection. And what does a connection look like? What does
Mm.
it feel like? Because I don't think a connection is just a feeling, but I think you can see a connection, right?
Yeah.
You can see how it shows on two people's faces and the interaction, just to feel like you come as a child, you come from a house of love.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not like they really will hear like, oh, did you tell daddy like I love you today? They don't know, right? But what
Right.
they see is like the small thing.
Yeah.
And I noticed that like with Zach as well. Like Zach loves it. So like whenever like Adi comes home and like Adi gives me a hug and then, like a kiss on my head, Zach will like run up and give him a hug as well. It just creates a very warm
Yeah. I mean,
environment
ch-
to
children picks up all these things, right?
yeah.
And that is for sure. And yeah, I love. I mean, we really love when if you walk on the streets and I see a elderly couple and they're holding hands.
Yeah.
I just love it. I used to, if I ever remember, I always forget, but take pictures from behind of them holding hands, and I find that so endearing,
Yeah. It's
right?
so
I think that's
sweet.
the cutest thing, and
Or
um,
when you see like one of the couples waiting for the other one at the train station,
I
like
know.
you always see them like standing there just like waiting, and then you see
Uh,
them come out and they get so happy and they're like shaking a little bit as they lean in for a kiss.
yeah,
It's so
I think
cute.
that is so sweet, and
Yeah.
sadly, our Asian culture
Don't
just
have
don't
it.
do that, right? And it seems like um, why, especially men, uh, finds it so hard to say I love you to their children or to their wives. Wife, 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 and children. Sorry, I meant one wife. uh, and why is it so difficult to express? And then these children will grow up not knowing how to express their love to their family, and I think that's very sad because saying I love you is very it seems like, oh, it's not macho, and
Mm,
that it becomes yeah, I think we are going to create all this younger generation who do not know how to express themselves to their children, and that would be such a tragic thing because the children will grow up not knowing whether dad loves them, or sometimes even the mothers, because maybe they are not brought up where there's that, or I love you, or the that maybe the hugs, because that connection is not there, they don't grow up with it. Because I can tell you, my parents generally, hugging, touching, or I love you is not there. So I
mm,
never grew up with that. So, and but my husband is the opposite. He's very much about showing the love and saying it, and all the little things. And I'm glad because I realized that who doesn't love that? Who
yeah,
doesn't like that,
it's
right?
so nice.
Yeah. And then so you evolve, and I make it a point to do the same with my children now, because you may regret one day if something should happen that you didn't even tell the person that I love you.
Mm.
And I certainly don't want.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And you want to be able to say I love you, and it's not just I'm not saying my parents don't love me, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying their love language doesn't include actually saying I love you and the hugs and the kisses. In fact, if you ask me today if they hug me and kiss, I'd be so weird out. I'll be
Mm.
so weird out because I've never had them. So I don't I we do not. The only way we say I love you is keep buying food for each other, providing food for each other. That's the only way we know. And so there's no, oh, how are you, with a hand touch, or a little kiss on the side or anything of
Mm.
that. So I never experienced that with them. Therefore, um, I can't do it, that affection with them, because it's a disconnect. If I actually even to say I love you, they probably drop everything and go, huh?
Yeah, no, I think it is important, and I think it really helps to like heal us like you said, right, you're one opposite and your husband's another opposite,
Mm.
but did you feel it was like very healing in a way to like have that?
Oh yeah, I mean it's when someone, and I don't mean saying just saying I love you like a passing statement. I love you, that kind of
No.
thing. No, I mean as in you really say I really love you and I care about you. That just someone looking you in the eye and say I love you and I appreciate everything you do. It's like that wave of warmth and happiness
Yeah,
that comes through, isn't it?
it feels
And
so
if your
nice.
heart starts to melt like little chocolate melting inside, kind of thing, right? So yeah, it's I just wish, for mothers out there, and you feel that you have been the tiger mom and you've been very strict, maybe time to mellow down and actually say that to your children, and let them know. Maybe in the beginning you probably won't get a lot of reaction from them, but just persevere, because after a while they will react. Let me share this little story about this kind of mentality. I would run at the botanical garden every day. A few years back, I'll do that at least 3 times a week, and we run and with my husband, and then we will say good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone that walks past us, because it's just us. We will just say hi or smile or whatever. And for the first 2 weeks, the same, you will always run around with the same people, and then they were always very grumpy, or they look at you going, huh? And then
Mm.
by the third week, they were all greeting, morning, good morning, good morning. So it is, um, it maybe it's because they don't know in the beginning and they're wondering who are these people saying good morning to us, and then after a while it become familiar, and to the point where now that I go less, when they see us they go, oh hello, good morning, how are you, that kind of thing, which is beautiful, because why should we be so angry and aloof to each other? Why can't we just greet each other and say good morning, how are you? What's the harm in that?
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. And like, well, I did have a really good grab car experience today, but usually I always say, like, when I get out of the car, like, have a nice day, and like, or in the car, be like, oh yeah, you have a nice day. Like, I feel like when we just greet people, I can see their face, like on the rear view mirror.
Right.
They just like, oh yeah, thank you, you too, you too.
Yeah.
Like, just to address a person. So if you think about like public displays of affection, sometimes it can really just be like being kind to others who
Yeah,
like
exactly.
affection is so many forms. It doesn't always have to be the kiss or the holding of
Yeah,
hands.
exactly. Sometimes it's even like being gentlemanly, or I mean, it could be us where we open the door for the person behind us. That's a form of affection, or this actually manners anyway.
Yeah.
You leave, if someone behind you, you hold out the door. If you see someone carrying something heavy and you can help, why can't you open and leave the door open for that person so that they don't struggle? I think those little social courtesies are missing in our society, because this, I see too many. I mean, I was brought up when we go to the public transport. If I see someone elderly or pregnant, I immediately get up, and I never told my children that, but I see them doing it when we are in public transport. They will always get up, and I'm so proud of them, because yeah, you get up for someone who is weaker than you or older than you. I mean,
Mm.
it's just that those little gestures that I think society has forgotten, and because everyone is trying to, what, the paper chase, or
Mm.
trying to, every minute is important, but being kind is important, and being kind is being overlooked as, oh, it's stupid, or she is stupid because she's too kind, and I think that's very sad. It's extremely sad. So we digress from public display of affection, but what I'm saying is having those love language, um, whether you should say it and express it to the people who you care about, because sometimes they may not really know that you care about them,
And
isn't
it
it?
feels good. And I think if we do all of these little things, like the public courtesies and like the little displays of affection and the words of affirmation, we will make the world a better place.
I think so. Yeah, if
Because
everyone would
everyone will
just
feel
take,
good.
yeah.
Everyone will feel kind. Everyone will feel warm. If you think about like communities where you felt that, like, oh, like the people here are so friendly, then why don't you be friendly when you come back home over
I
here?
know. I mean, I had the I talk about this a lot when I went to Bhutan last year,
Mm.
and it was in my bucket list. The people are just so kind, so genuine, um, and just gentle, because they have not been exposed too much with the outside world, and from the toothless smiles to all sorts, they have been just so kind, and yeah, it's just a place, and I urge any one of you who can go, please visit. It's really truly the happiest place on earth. Yeah. So, in saying that, so our public display of affection is we love you,
Yes, we
and we
do.
would like you to follow us, subscribe, and give us ideas of what we should talk about. Give us comments so that we can keep doing this with lots of love.
Bye.